a mother, once adored by millions, now sits behind bars for one of the most disturbing child abuse cases in recent history. Ruby Franke built her online empire through a wholesome family-friendly YouTube channel, 8 passengers. But behind the camera, a horrifying reality was unfolding. How did a beloved YouTube mom turn into a convicted criminal? This is the chilling story of Ruby Franke, the YouTuber mom who became a convicted child abuser. Millions of viewers tuned in to watch Ruby Franke and her family on their YouTube channel, 8 passengers. What seemed like a heartwarming glimpse into parenting and homeschooling quickly became a source of controversy. As the channel grew in popularity, so did concerns about Ruby's extreme parenting methods. The family-friendly image she crafted masked something far more troubling beneath the surface. While some praised Ruby for her strict approach to discipline, others noticed unsettling patterns. She shared moments that seemed more punitive than parental, often justifying harsh punishments in the name of teaching responsibility. Over time, viewers began voicing their unease, questioning whether the line between discipline and cruelty had been crossed. What once appeared as firm parenting started to resemble something far more disturbing. Despite the mounting concerns, Ruby dismissed the criticism, insisting that she was preparing her children for a tough world. As more videos surfaced, the debate intensified. Had she taken her ideals too far, or was the world simply too sensitive to her methods? That question would soon be answered in the most horrifying way imaginable. Signs of trouble appeared long before Ruby Franke's arrest. In several videos, she defended strict punishments that many viewers found deeply unsettling. Small infractions resulted in severe consequences, leaving some to wonder if discipline had crossed into something more alarming. Instead of addressing concerns, she doubled down, insisting that hardship built character. A particularly disturbing moment involved her young son, who was denied food at school as a punishment for forgetting his lunch. Another time, she removed her children's beds for misbehavior, forcing them to sleep on the floor for weeks. These instances, which she framed as lessons in accountability, ignited heated debates among viewers. Some defended her as a firm parent, while others saw clear signs of emotional and physical neglect. As concerns grew, Ruby continued to justify her approach, dismissing critics as outsiders who did not understand her parenting philosophy. What many initially brushed off as unconventional discipline started to appear more calculated and cruel. The real question was not whether Ruby's methods were harsh, but whether they concealed something far more sinister waiting to be uncovered. Everything changed when Ruby Franke crossed paths with Jodi Hildebrandt, a therapist whose extreme beliefs would push Ruby's parenting to dangerous new levels. Jodi presented herself as a mentor, but her methods were anything but conventional. She preached absolute obedience, often at the cost of emotional and physical well-being. Under Jodi's influence, Ruby's strict discipline evolved into something far more extreme. Jodi was the founder of Conations, a counseling organization that claimed to help families but operated under a framework of control and submission. She encouraged parents to enforce rigid, often cruel punishments in the name of teaching accountability. For Ruby, this validation of her harsh parenting style became a turning point. Instead of questioning whether she had gone too far, she embraced Jodi's ideology wholeheartedly. As Ruby became more involved with Jodi, her parenting methods became increasingly alarming. What had once been debated as strict discipline now appeared to be outright abuse. The partnership between these two women would soon unravel into one of the most horrifying child abuse cases in recent history. The warning signs were there, but few could have predicted how dark things would become. The nightmare could no longer be hidden. On August 30, 2023, a desperate 12-year-old boy, starved and bruised, broke from Jodi Hildebrandt's home in Ivins, Utah, seeking help. His frail body bore signs of prolonged abuse. Deep wounds, malnourishment, and duct tape wrapped around his wrists and ankles. He reached a neighbor's house, begging for water and pleading for someone to call 911. Authorities rushed to the scene, uncovering an even more horrifying truth. Inside the house, they found Ruby Franke's 10-year-old daughter in similar conditions, battered and starving. The air was thick with the stench of neglect, and it became painfully clear that these children had been subjected to unimaginable cruelty. The chilling reality shattered any remaining illusions about Ruby's parenting. What began as whispers of concern had now erupted into undeniable proof of severe abuse. The escape of one brave child exposed years of hidden torment, bringing an end to the suffering that had persisted behind closed doors. This moment was not just a call for justice. It was a horrifying revelation of how far the abuse had gone unchecked. Justice was swift. On the very same day the children were rescued, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt were taken into custody. Investigators uncovered overwhelming evidence of prolonged neglect and brutality. The children had endured starvation, physical restraints, and psychological torment, punishments that were inflicted under the guise of discipline. As the case unfolded, the details grew even more disturbing. In court, Ruby shockingly admitted that she believed the abuse was a necessary form of parenting. She showed little remorse, defending her actions as methods to instill discipline and obedience. The prosecution, however, presented undeniable proof of aggravated child abuse, revealing just how calculated and cruel her methods had become. By December 2023, Ruby pleaded guilty to 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. In February 2024, the judge delivered the sentence, 4 to 30 years in prison. The ruling reflected the severity of her crimes, ensuring that she would spend years behind bars for the unimaginable suffering she inflicted on her children. The revelations of abuse ignited a firestorm of outrage across social media. Viewers who once supported Ruby felt betrayed, while parenting advocates condemned the disturbing details of the case. Online communities demanded justice, and as the public pressure mounted, major platforms distanced themselves from Ruby and her content. YouTube took swift action, permanently removing 8 passengers from its platform, erasing years of content that had once captivated millions. Kevin Franke, who was not charged in the case, publicly denounced Ruby's actions and filed for divorce. His decision further fueled discussions about his level of awareness and involvement, leaving many questions unanswered. The most heartbreaking consequence fell on the children, who were placed under state custody to begin the long road to recovery. Authorities ensured they received professional therapy to heal from years of psychological and physical trauma. While the legal proceedings had concluded, the scars left behind served as a grim reminder of the irreversible damage caused by unchecked abuse. The chilling details of Ruby Franke's case resurfaced with the release of Hulu's explosive documentary, D in the Family: The Fall of Ruby Franke. In February 2024, the documentary peeled back the layers of her downfall, featuring never-before-seen footage, unsettling testimony from those who knew her, and a deeper dive into the extreme ideology that led to her crimes. The revelations left viewers shocked, reigniting widespread conversations about the dangers of unchecked influence and radical beliefs. The film did not hold back in exposing the full extent of Ruby's transformation. Former friends and acquaintances detailed their growing concerns over the years, highlighting how her parenting methods became increasingly severe under the influence of Jodi Hildebrandt. Clips from 8 passengers were scrutinized, painting a clear picture of a family unraveling behind the curated facade of wholesome content. Every new revelation only fueled the already intense public debate. As audiences absorbed the documentary's disturbing findings, interest in the case surged once more. Social media exploded with renewed discussions, with viewers dissecting every frame, every statement, and every clue that had been ignored for years. The documentary not only shed light on Ruby's descent, but also raised broader questions about the responsibility of online influencers and the platforms that enable them. The shocking downfall of Ruby Franke serves as a haunting example of how abuse can remain hidden in plain sight. For years, millions watched her family's seemingly wholesome life unfold on screen, unaware of the suffering taking place behind closed doors. The contrast between online perfection and real-life cruelty forced many to reconsider the darker side of social media fame. What began as an innocent family vlog transformed into a nightmare that horrified the world. Ruby's strict parenting was once dismissed as tough love, but the truth revealed a far more disturbing reality. Her case sparked crucial discussions about the risks of unchecked influence, the dangers of extremist beliefs, and the blurred line between discipline and abuse. Beyond Ruby Franke, this case raises an unsettling question. How many other children are silently enduring the same fate under the guise of social media perfection? As platforms continue to promote family content, the responsibility to detect and prevent harm grows even more urgent. The lessons from this tragedy must not be ignored. No child should suffer in silence. If you suspect abuse, take action. Your voice could be the lifeline that saves an innocent life. The Childwhelp National Child Abuse Hotline is available 24/7 at 1-800-4ACE-CHILD and 8-822-453, providing confidential support and guidance to those in need. Every report matters. Raising awareness and speaking up can prevent further harm and hold abusers accountable. Together, we can create a safer world where no child is forced to endure the unthinkable.